Hi, I'm Kenneth WAJDA. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. Today we'll talk about a road trip. So I want to leave in September for a road trip to Philadelphia. And on that road trip, I want to go through Fargo, North Dakota, Rapid City before Fargo, Minneapolis, because I've never been, and then out through Ann Arbor and Detroit, and then finally down into Philly. And I'm going to do a photo project, but I don't know what that photo project is yet. I'm working out the details. And I want to use that road trip, which I find to be fascinating, the old Robert Frank kind of style of going out on the road and finding a story and taking it and going out and creating it. I like that idea, and I really want to work a photo story. And I've also learned something about photo stories. And I've done road trips before, and I've thought I was going to photograph along the way, and I really didn't. I did some street, but I didn't really get much in the way of a story. And the reason I realized is you can't show up in a town and expect to photograph anything of any kind of depth outside of what's available in front of you, which is people at the gas station, people at the coffee shop. To go further, you have to do some prep. You have to plan it, and you have to find your story. So that's kind of what I'm working on doing. I'm working on finding a story that is something that I want to travel across the US and looking for. And so one of the ideas was to photograph organic farmers, starting here in Boulder County, Colorado, where there's a lot of organic farmers. But then I started looking online. There's a lot of organic farmers in a lot of places. And I want to do it with either the Rolleiflex or a 4x5 camera and do it like Richard Avedon's Cowboy series. Very much inspired by that, and there is no copyright on using a white background and soft light to photograph people who are hardworking men and women. And so that was one possibility. And I started looking up, well, can I find organic farms in every destination that I was looking at? And I could. And several of them came up. And so I still would have to make the contacts and make some phone calls ahead, and maybe even some of those folks would have some leads to put me up instead of having to do Airbnbs all along the way or motels. And because it's a road trip for a project, it's almost like a touring musician where you get to say, you know, I'm looking to get this set up, I'm looking for some help to get this. And then if there is a place for you to stay, musicians travel all around the country playing at venues and looking for places to stay along the way en route to their next destination. And that's exactly what I would be doing. And then once I get to Pennsylvania, I'll be coming back this way, and I might go a southern route through maybe Nashville or Memphis, maybe even down through, you know, Louisiana and Texas coming back. But the goal again is to find a project, and that project has to be somewhat researched and developed. Now, if you want to do a project just on gas stations at dusk or gas stations at dawn, you could do that without having to prep anything because you're just shooting what's available in front of you. But being a people person, I want to photograph people, and I need to get some access to where are those people. Or also to even look at events. If there's a event happening in North Dakota when I'm there, and you know, who knows what it is. If it was like the, I know in my area there's a local Quaker Oats festival where the Quaker oatmeal people put up a town to have a festival. That might be photogenic if people are dressed like the Quaker Oats tub. I don't know if they do. But the point is to find stories of what's going on. It might behoove me to look up event calendars and to look up where can I find happenings, things going on, things that might be photogenic besides just people leaving the coffee shop and getting gas and the things that you see in downtown, but you don't know anybody. And I've done those kinds of stays where I'm at the coffee shop and I'm, you know, either using that time to write or to look up different photographers and things that are of interest to me. But to actually photograph anybody, you need to have a little bit of preparation. You need a producer in a sense. You need a assignment editor to say, hey, I got you this assignment, go out and shoot it. Except for you're your own assignment editor. And then if it's a big enough project, perhaps you could take a handful of those photographs and use them as examples to show other people, or even use them as examples to show magazines that may be interested, to show them what you're working on and maybe even get some funding for your project because it's something that you're creating, and because it's of value, maybe there's somebody who would like to publish it and they would have some ability to help you fund it. So those are all interesting ideas, and I like the idea of projects. I've always been a proponent of projects, not products. Products are something that you make, you sell to your client. It can be a senior portrait, it can be a commercial shoot, and you turn over the images, you turn over whatever your deal is, and then they give you a paycheck and it's all done. But a project is something that you create, and that body of work lives, just like Richard Avedon's Cowboy series. Once you create a project, it lives. It can be a gallery show. It can be a gallery show again in 10 years. And projects they're a little bit more in depth, and they give you a little bit more cachet as a photographer for having done a project, not just paid gigs and products. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. If you can support, please hit the Patreon. Thanks so much for watching. I love talking photography with you. We'll talk again soon.